When human ambition expands to a global scale, mega-projects begin to emerge as milestones of an entire era. They are towers rising high into the clouds, sea-crossing bridges stretching for dozens of kilometers, and tunnels carved through mountains and beneath oceans to connect continents. There are colossal dams regulating mighty rivers, vast water transfer systems crossing entire regions, and ports and airports operating at some of the highest capacities in the world. At another level, these include scientific structures beyond Earth, space telescopes, particle accelerators, and entirely new cities built from forward-looking master plans. This is a journey into the greatest megaprojects on the planet, where engineering, architecture, and strategic vision converge to reshape how the world operates in the 21st century. Palm Jumeirah is a world-renowned artificial palm-shaped island off the coast of Dubai, considered a symbol of modern offshore engineering. Construction began in 2001 and was completed in 2006, creating an area of about 2 square miles, large enough to be visible from space. To build Palm Jumeirah, engineers used over 120 million cubic yards of sand and 7.7 million tons of rock, with no concrete or steel in the main structure, a solution regarded as a scientific marvel. The project faced challenges such as strong sea currents, erosion risks, and environmental balance, requiring hydraulic technology and 3D simulations to refine the design. With its distinctive shape, consisting of a 2.5-mile trunk and 16 fronds, Palm Jumeirah became home to luxury hotels and resorts, significantly expanding Dubai's coastline. Holding the record as the world's largest man-made island at the time of completion, it showcases human ambition and engineering brilliance. The island stands not only as a tourist wonder, but also as clear evidence of ambition, technique, and human ingenuity. Sphere, Las Vegas, United States. In the middle of the desert, a giant smooth sphere appears like a strange object from space, challenging all the aesthetic rules of the boxy buildings around it. With a width of over 515 feet, this magnificent structure is so huge that it could embrace the entire Statue of Liberty inside and still have space left. Inside that shell is a psychedelic world with a 160,000 square foot screen, where 16K resolution tricks the eyes and makes viewers lose balance even while sitting still. Not just a theater, its outer shell can transform into anything, from a giant blinking eye to the mysterious surface of Mars. Its light is as brilliant as a second sun falling to Earth, so strong that pilots flying through this sky must receive special warnings. And to possess control of this symbol of light for a single day, the price to pay is a massive figure of $450,000 US. Burj Khalifa. Rising from the desert and the Persian Gulf, Burj Khalifa stands as the tallest building in the world and an unmistakable symbol of modern engineering. Completed in 2010, it reaches about 2,917 feet in height, surpassing all previous records and redefining global architecture. Construction lasted 6 years, involving more than 12,000 workers and engineers, with about 430,000 cubic yards of concrete and nearly 86 million pounds of steel. One of the greatest challenges was the strong winds at high altitude, which required engineers to design a Y-shaped floor plan that minimized sway and distributed pressure. With a total floor area of over 3.2 million square feet, the tower houses offices, residences, hotels, and an observation deck at more than 1,640 feet, offering sweeping views of the desert and skyline. More than a building, Burj Khalifa is a testament to human ability to push the limits of architecture and engineering. Marina Bay Sands is one of the most iconic landmarks in Singapore, regarded as a modern symbol of global architecture and tourism. Located in the heart of the city, the complex consists of 3 towers rising 656 feet, linked by a massive rooftop structure shaped like a ship called the Sky Park. Completed in 2010, Marina Bay Sands set several records, including the world's highest outdoor infinity pool, measuring over 492 feet, attracting millions of visitors every year. Its construction took around 5 years, involving more than 7,000 workers and hundreds of international engineers, consuming enormous amounts of steel, glass, and concrete. The greatest challenge was lifting and placing the Sky Park, weighing nearly 7,000 tons, on top of the 3 towers, a task requiring absolute precision. Scientifically, the project was designed with deep foundation systems to ensure stability on reclaimed coastal land, showcasing the integration of advanced engineering with complex natural conditions. Today, Marina Bay Sands is not only a luxury hotel, but also a leading hub for conferences, commerce, and entertainment, symbolizing the ambition of the city. Louvre Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Not a solid block, this silver dome is interlaced from 7,850 metal stars to create the illusion of floating amidst the ocean. Beneath it, the architect created an ancient Medina quarter with 55 white buildings connected by turquoise waters. The complex dome structure consists of 8 stacked layers of steel and aluminum, acting as a massive natural light filter. When the harsh sun shines through, it creates a rain of light phenomenon speckling the floor, simulating the shade of desert palm forests. Thanks to this smart design, the interior space is always about 9 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the outside without consuming too much energy. At night, light reflecting from the water turns the structure into a giant spaceship quietly landing on the dark night sea. Dubai Frame, United Arab Emirates. Not an ordinary skyscraper, this observatory is a hollow sculptural masterpiece, framing the sky with the beauty of the golden ratio. At 492 feet high, this is the only place that lets you see two parallel worlds. One side is the ancient quarter, the other is the forest of futuristic high-rises. The secret of eternal shine lies in an army of autonomous robots, constantly climbing to clean sand dust from the gold-plated metal surface. The most dramatic highlight lies on the connecting bridge at the top, where the floor turns from opaque to transparent as soon as you step on it. Standing on that 269 square foot glass strip, you will feel like you are floating in the void, completely separated from the distant ground below. The interlocking circle patterns on the shell are not just for decoration, but a symbol of connecting civilizations, making it an architectural heritage of the new century. Falkirk Wheel, United Kingdom. Inspired by the double-headed battle axe of the ancient Celts, a giant steel sculpture has risen among the hills to perform the only rotating dance of its kind in the world. With a steel mass equal to 100 double-decker buses, this machine was born to connect two water flows separated by a height difference of nearly 80 feet. Relying on the Archimedes principle, it achieves absolute balance, so that even the arrival of a massive ship does not change the weight of the lifting arm. To keep the water tanks perfectly level while the wheel turns, a complex planetary gear system was designed to work silently and precisely. Before entering this journey, ships must glide through a suspended aqueduct, creating a visual illusion as if they are flying in the blue sky. This is not just an elevator, but a symbol of the new millennium, marking the proud revival of a canal system that had slept for 60 years. Corinth Canal, Greece. Like a sharp knife of the gods carved directly into the earth, this canal is an extreme geometric wonder that completely separates a peninsula from the mainland. On both sides are breathtaking vertical limestone walls, rising 260 feet high, revealing ancient geological layers compressed over millions of years of history. Although only 4 miles long, humans had to dredge over 424 million cubic feet of earth and rock using primitive late 19th century technology to realize this dream. The strangest point lies at both ends of the canal, with unique submersible bridges, where the asphalt road slowly sinks 40 feet deep to the seabed to make way for ships. Viewed from space, the canal appears as an unrealistically straight pencil line, creating an absolute contrast between the turquoise water and the dry grey stone. This artistic scar is not only a vital transport route, but also a testament to humanity's intense will to conquer nature over thousands of years. The O2 London, United Kingdom. Viewed from above, 12 yellow towers pierce through the white dome like an alien spaceship clinging tightly to the ground. This is actually a giant calendar with a diameter of nearly 1,200 feet, representing the days, and a height of 170 feet, representing the weeks in a year. The dome shell is as thin as a shirt, but durable enough to withstand the weight of a jet plane if it parked on top. Unlike the vertical skyscrapers, it spreads out low, drawing a rare soft curve amidst the concrete jungle of the city. Not just an architectural symbol, this dome is smart enough to collect rainwater flowing on its surface for reuse throughout the complex. From a once-hated structure, this place has spectacularly transformed to become the busiest music arena on the planet, surpassing all major competitors in the world. City of Arts and Sciences, Spain. Resembling a floating space station, this complex is so futuristic that it was chosen as the setting for sci-fi movies without the need for visual effects. Breaking away from lifeless boxes, the architecture here mimics living organisms, from a white whale skeleton to a giant blinking eye. The surrounding shallow pools act as giant mirrors, merging the architecture above and the reflection below into a complete entity. Few people know that the sparkling shell is handcrafted from millions of broken ceramic pieces, a classic technique applied on an unprecedented industrial scale. Hidden deep inside is the continent's largest artificial ocean ecosystem, holding a massive amount of water, enough to fill 15 Olympic swimming pools. Once fiercely criticized for construction costs soaring to over 1.2 billion euros, it has now become the reborn heart of a dead river. Pontcysyllte Aqueduct, United Kingdom. Suspended at a height of 126 feet above the valley floor, an artificial river flows across the sky, challenging every physical law of the 19th century. This giant cast iron trough rests on 18 hollow limestone pillars, creating an architectural rhythm that has been both elegant and solid for over 200 years. The miracle lies in the secret of sealing the iron plates, where the ancients used a mixture of flannel soaked in boiled sugar and white lead to prevent leaks for 2 centuries. The experience here is truly a test of nerves, as one side of the boat has absolutely no railing, making visitors feel like they are floating freely on the edge of the abyss. It took 10 long years to realize this crazy idea, turning a life-threatening blueprint into a masterpiece of the Industrial Revolution. That boldness has made this structure a World Heritage Site, an eternal testament to human creative genius in the face of nature. Sayano-Shushenskaya Dam, Russia. In the freezing cold of -40 degrees Fahrenheit, the river at the foot of this structure steams like it is boiling in the snowy sky, creating a breathtakingly eerie scene. Wedged tight between canyons, the proud 794-foot-tall wall rises to seal off a dark blue, still, and bottomless water abyss. The 12 million cubic yards of concrete that make it up are enough to pave a massive highway across the entire mainland. But nature never surrenders, as the terrifying water pressure once cracked the dam, forcing engineers to pump thousands of tons of special resin to heal it. The wrath peaked when the water power blew a 992-ton turbine into the air, flooding the engine room and claiming 75 lives in a bloody tragedy. Delta Works Flood Barrier System is the largest flood defense project in the world, located on the southwestern coast of the Netherlands, built to protect the country from the North Sea. It consists of 13 major structures and is recognized as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world by the American Society of Civil Engineers. Construction started in 1954 after the catastrophic flood of 1953 and was completed in 1997. taking nearly 5 decades of continuous work. Engineers faced great challenges, such as weak soil, strong tides, and violent storms, which required innovations like pre-stressed concrete piles and movable barriers. Tens of thousands of workers moved over 235 million cubic yards of sand and rock, with gates rising about 33 feet that can be opened or closed depending on hydrological conditions. Today, it protects more than 3 million residents and stands as a symbol of engineering capability and human resilience. Panama Canal expansion is one of the largest infrastructure projects of the 21st century, located in Central America and connecting the world's 2 most important oceans. Officially completed in 2016, after almost 9 years of construction, its purpose was to double the capacity of global maritime trade. The new lock system is about 1,400 feet long, 180 feet wide, and 60 feet deep, capable of handling massive cargo ships weighing more than 200,000 tons. During construction, millions of cubic yards of earth and rock were removed, with tens of thousands of workers and engineers overcoming complex geology and harsh climate. Today, Panama Canal expansion stands as a symbol of strategic vision, global connectivity, and a new era for international commerce. Riyadh Metro, Saudi Arabia. Likened to a heart surgery in the desert, this is the largest automated urban railway system in the world, built in a single phase. To avoid the scorching heat, 7 earth-eating monster machines dug 98 feet underground, creating nearly half the length of 6 train lines. Standing out on the ground are stations shaped like soft sand dunes with no dead angles or stainless steel spaceships landing in the basin. Inside, the harsh sunlight is scattered through the honeycomb mashrabiyah shell, shining down on polished marble floors like a 5-star hotel lobby. Unlike the West, trains here have a clear class division with gold-plated first-class cabins and luxury leather seats to serve the super-rich. The price for this luxury is $23 billion, a huge amount enough to buy 50 Airbus A380 aircraft lined up. International Space Station, ISS, is the largest scientific construction ever built in space, orbiting Earth at an altitude of about 250 miles at nearly 17,500 miles per hour. It was launched in 1998 and took more than 10 years to complete, involving the cooperation of dozens of nations and hundreds of scientists, engineers, and astronauts assembling it directly in orbit. The station weighs over 925,000 pounds, stretches about 358 feet long, and offers living space similar to a 5-bedroom house, accommodating 6 to 7 astronauts for extended stays. Its construction required more than 160 spacewalks under extreme conditions, where astronauts faced zero gravity and temperature swings from minus 240 Fahrenheit to above 250 Fahrenheit. Today, the International Space Station stands not only as a symbol of advanced science and engineering, but also as proof of humanity's ability to collaborate globally in the exploration of space. Hoover Dam is one of the greatest engineering achievements of the 20th century, built on the Colorado River and symbolizing how human ingenuity conquered the extremes of nature. Construction began in 1931 and finished in only 5 years, with the structure rising about 725 feet high and stretching 1,240 feet long, containing over 4 million cubic yards of concrete, enough to pave a highway across the United States. More than 21,000 workers labored under harsh desert conditions, facing summer heat that could exceed 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientifically, Hoover Dam was designed as a curved arch against the water flow, distributing pressure into the canyon walls, which increased stability and reduced the risk of fractures. Beyond generating power for millions, the dam also provides flood control and irrigation to millions of acres of farmland in the American West. Its completion during the Great Depression became a symbol of national resilience and proof that people can build timeless structures serving sustainable growth. Itaipu Dam is one of the largest hydroelectric projects in the world, built on the Paraná River between Brazil and Paraguay, a region that has become a true powerhouse of South America. Constructed between 1975 and 1984, with more than 40,000 workers and engineers, the project overcame immense geological and hydrological challenges. Rising 643 feet high and stretching almost 5 miles, the dam contains enough concrete and steel to build dozens of medium-sized cities. With 20 massive turbines and an installed capacity of over 14,000 millibarri, Itaipu once held the world record for annual electricity generation, supplying most of Paraguay's demand and a significant share for Brazil. The dam stands as a testament to human capability in harnessing natural forces through modern science and engineering, leaving a lasting legacy in global energy history. Golden Gate Bridge is a suspension bridge spanning the strait that connects the Pacific Ocean to San Francisco Bay, recognized as one of the most iconic infrastructures of the 20th century United States. Measuring about 9,000 feet in total length, with a main span of 4,200 feet. It was the longest suspension bridge in the world when inaugurated in 1937, rising 745 feet above the water. The towers are coated in the distinctive international orange color to ensure visibility in heavy fog. Construction lasted over 4 years, with nearly 4,000 workers involved, facing challenges such as strong currents and high winds. Around 660,000 short tons of steel and concrete were used, enabling the structure to withstand earthquakes and storms. Today, Golden Gate Bridge stands not only as a vital transportation link, but also as a global symbol of the union between technology and landscape. Abraj Al-Bait Clock Tower is one of the most remarkable skyscrapers in the world, located at the heart of the holy city of Saudi Arabia. Rising to about 1972 feet, with 120 floors, it holds the record as the tallest clock tower on Earth and features the world's largest clock face, measuring more than 141 feet in diameter, visible from dozens of miles away. Completed in 2012, after nearly 8 years of construction, the project engaged tens of thousands of engineers and workers from various countries. Today, the Abraj Al-Bait clock tower stands both as a guiding landmark and as a symbol of the balance between tradition and technology in contemporary architecture. Millau Viaduct. The Millau Viaduct is one of the tallest cable-stayed bridges in the world, crossing the Tarn Valley in southern France, where the rugged terrain once posed major challenges for transportation. Officially opened in 2004, the bridge quickly became a symbol of modern engineering, reaching a record with its tallest pylon, standing 1,125 feet, higher than the Eiffel Tower. During its 3 years of construction, more than 2,500 workers and engineers participated, using around 79,000 pounds of steel and a volume of concrete comparable to that required for a small town. One of the greatest difficulties was the frequent strong winds on the plateau, which forced engineers to design the cable system and steel deck to withstand gusts up to 125 miles per hour. The bridge stretches nearly 1.5 miles with 7 main pylons, each weighing tens of thousands of tons and precisely anchored into solid rock to ensure long-term stability. Scientists consider the structure a prime example of the combination of optimal geometry, advanced materials, and precision assembly at unprecedented heights. The Millau Viaduct not only shortens travel between major European regions, but also stands as proof of humanity's ability to overcome natural challenges with intellect and technology. Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Solar Park, United Arab Emirates. Shaking off the prosperous past of digging for oil, this nation is planting a sci-fi machine that swallows the sky's light right in the middle of a barren desert. Spanning 30 square miles, this giant glass matrix takes the form of a flat, dark blue crystal sea, overwhelmingly standing out amidst an endless ocean of golden sand. The most terrifying sight is 70,000 mirrors simultaneously pointing at the 860-foot-tall tower peak, igniting a blinding white flame like an imprisoned artificial sun. The 1,049-degree Fahrenheit heat at the convergence point is so brutal that it not only melts liquid salt, but also incinerates to ashes any wild bird that accidentally flies by. Embracing the ambition to reach a massive capacity of 5,000 megawatts, this solar masterpiece is proudly draining the power of the universe to light up a new era. Svalbard Global Seed Vault, Norway. Amidst the white desert, 808 miles from the North Pole, an angular concrete block crashes into the snowy mountain like the ruins of a sci-fi spaceship. Sitting safely at an elevation of 427 feet above sea level, this underground fortress will never be submerged, even if all the ice on the planet melts. Hidden behind blast-proof steel doors and extremely thick concrete walls, it is strong enough to withstand devastating nuclear attacks or the crushing pressure of an asteroid. Stepping past that defense layer is a 394-foot steep tunnel piercing straight into the gloomy realm where the white bears lurking outside outnumber humans. Channel Shuttle Terminal, France, United Kingdom. Crushing all the great barriers of the ocean, this massive transit terminal makes the spacious highways suddenly get sucked deep into a black hole at the bottom of the strait. From the loading area, the train tilts downwards, sinking you to a depth of 246 feet, buckling under the brutal pressure of the rock layer and 377 feet of seawater weighing heavily overhead. A highly sci-fi scene explodes when the steel machine, the length of 8 football fields, throws open its mechanical side compartments, patiently swallowing hundreds of bumper-to-bumper cars crawling into its belly. Hudson Yards, United States. Like a sci-fi city, this super project does not touch the ground, but floats on an artificial foundation spanning 30 working train tracks. Without 2 concrete platforms weighing 35,000 tons as a shield, this entire magnificent metropolis would collapse right onto the trains below. The price for this arrogance is $25 billion, making it the most expensive private real estate gamble in United States history. Here, a giant honeycomb structure challenges vision with 154 interlaced flights of stairs, making humans look as small as ants. Not stopping there, the art building next door can slide its shell weighing 8,800,000 pounds on giant wheels to transform in just 5 minutes. Finally, a sharp triangular observation deck extends 80 feet into mid-air, looking like a shard of broken glass, piercing the sky at a height of 1,100 feet. Oriental Pearl Tower, China. Like a spacecraft anchored by the historic river, this tower fascinates the world with its structure of 11 brilliant crystal spheres suspended in mid-air. Standing at 1,535 feet, the work is supported by 3 giant pillars driven deep into the earth like the steel roots of an ancient tree. The abnormality lies in the continuous pearl chain design, which helps disperse the power of fierce storms and creates an unmistakable appearance on the planet. As sunlight falls, the ruby-colored glass layers sparkle, transforming the tower into a massive luxury jewelry piece shining brilliantly in the heart of the city. The most heart-stopping experience awaits you at the glass corridor 850 feet high, where the boundary between your feet and the deep river is just an invisible crystal layer. When night comes, the LED system turns this place into a mystical lighthouse, weaving shimmering dances of color, reflecting on the drifting water surface. Port of Shanghai, China. Dubbed the heart of global trade, this deep-water megaport has reigned supreme as the world's #1 for over a decade. To welcome ocean giants, humans performed a geographical miracle by building the terminal on offshore islands 20 miles from the mainland. Covering thousands of acres, this steel shipyard is so magnificent that it is clearly visible from satellites in outer space. A bridge 20 miles long, curving like a divine dragon over fierce waves, was erected to connect this economic lifeline to the vast continent. Here, millions of colorful containers are stacked endlessly, creating a giant geometric matrix that changes its appearance every hour. When night falls, high-pressure lights transform the bright red crane forest into a sci-fi city where machines are the only residents operating the flow of humanity. Akashi Kaikyo Bridge, Japan. Piercing the cloud layer, the 984-foot-high towers of this bridge float in mid-air like a gateway leading into the heavens. For a quarter of a century, it proudly held the throne as the suspension bridge with the longest main span in the world, with an unimaginable distance of 6,532 feet. To suspend this 2.5-mile-long monster, they braided 36,830 small steel wires into giant main cable bundles with a diameter of 44 inches. The total length of this cable matrix reaches 186,411 miles, enough to wrap around the Earth's equator 7.5 times. Like a living organism, this entire sensitive steel structure can expand or contract up to 7 feet each day under the solar heat. To survive storms, the bridge deck is equipped with a 46-foot-high steel truss system resembling a dragon's skeleton, allowing wind to pass through instead of resisting. Ain Dubai, United Arab Emirates. In the late afternoon, The shadow of this steel monster casts long over the sea, creating a giant sundial, reminding us of the smallness of humans. With its peak hitting 820 feet, this is the tallest observation wheel in human history, where the eye can reach the curvature of the Earth. The heart keeping its rhythm is a spindle weighing 1,990 tons, equivalent to the weight of 4 Airbus A380 aircraft suspended in mid-air. Instead of rigid spokes, the structure is held by 192 steel cables, totaling 1,491 miles in length, enough to connect national borders. "48 transparent glass cabins look like giant diamonds, drifting slowly in a 38-minute journey for visitors to capture the full sunset." When night falls, the integrated LED system turns the wheel rim into a massive circular screen, reflecting down on the dark ocean. Raffles City, Chongqing, China. Like a fleet of towering sails catching the wind to head out to sea, this mega-metropolis shocks the world with a giant horizontal tower connecting the peaks of skyscrapers. This sky bridge is 984 feet long, an architectural record stretching further than the length of 3 standard football fields combined. To lift the £26 million steel structure to a breathtaking height, engineers had to use ultra-slow hydraulics to hoist it off the ground for several long weeks. Inside a crystal shell of 3,000 glass panels, a tropical forest appears with over 120 large tree species and waterfalls flowing in mid-air. When night falls, the smart LED system transforms 8 towers into a magnificent light dance, reflecting the vibrant pulse of life onto the water's mirror. One World Trade Center, United States. Rising from the ashes of the September 11th tragedy, this tower is not just reinforced concrete, but an eternal monument of unyielding will. Its peak proudly touches 1,776 feet, a purposeful number symbolizing the year the United States signed the Declaration of Independence. To become an impregnable fortress, it is cast with special concrete capable of withstanding 14,000 pounds per square inch of pressure, 5 times stronger than ordinary sidewalks. The price for this rebirth reached $3.9 billion, making it the most expensive office building on the planet at the time of completion. Its architecture is a geometric magic trick, where the square base gradually transforms into 8 isosceles triangles soaring straight into the sky. In just a 47-second elevator ride, you will witness 500 years of city history recreated through emotional time-lapse footage on LED screens. Three gorges ship lift China. Breaking all physical limits, this machine is a giant elevator for ships, helping 1,000-ton vessels fly over the vertical dam wall in the blink of an eye. With unparalleled power, it lifts the entire water tank and the ship weighing 15,500 tons to a height of 370 feet, equal to a 40-story building. The secret behind this miracle is a system of extremely heavy underground concrete counterweights, strongly supporting the electric motors to challenge Earth's gravity. This is a transnational mechanical masterpiece where genius minds took 20 long years to realize this impossible dream. This magical gateway not only shortens the journey from several hours to 40 minutes, but is also a proud symbol of the intersection between human intelligence and majestic nature. Forest City, Malaysia. Built from 212 million cubic yards of sand, this artificial metropolis rises in the strait as a wild human dream to turn the ocean into land. Once expected to be a vertical forest, nature is now swallowing the concrete towers as wild plants turn this place into a territory of snakes. A post-apocalyptic scene covers the long white sand beaches where rusty sunbathing chairs lie lonely under the sun without people. Apartment prices here are 60 times higher than local income, creating a tragic paradox where the rich do not want to stay and the poor cannot reach. The ambition to house 700,000 residents collapsed when, after a decade, the actual occupancy rate did not reach 1%, turning it into the largest ghost city in the world. The fate of the super project hangs by a thread as the parent corporation is carrying a huge debt of $200 billion and standing on the brink of bankruptcy. NASA Vehicle Assembly Building, United States. Resembling a garage for gods, this one-story building is the birthplace of the greatest space rockets in human history. Its interior space is incredibly vast, enough to swallow 3.5 Empire State Buildings or the entire Pentagon, while still having room. To support a steel mass heavier than a heavy aircraft carrier, 4,225 foundation piles were driven 164 feet deep into the rock below the swamp. It possesses the tallest doors in the world, reaching 456 feet, where the time to fling open the gate to space takes 45 minutes. Covering the facade is a giant painted flag with stripes 9 feet wide, as big as a bus, and stars large enough for a person to lie inside. Ruling from the high ceiling is a 358-ton crane, powerful enough to lift a locomotive or a blue whale into the air. Lotus Temple, India. Shining like an immortal spiritual flower, this temple has transformed lifeless concrete blocks into a mesmerizing geometric masterpiece, attracting millions of hearts every year. This unique structure is shaped from 27 pure white marble petals, the same precious material that created the legendary Parthenon thousands of years ago. Surrounding the flower are 9 deep blue pools, acting as a giant natural air conditioning system to soothe the scorching tropical heat. Stepping inside, you will be overwhelmed by the vast hall 111 feet high, but with absolutely no supporting pillars, creating an endless open space. In this place, all lenses must stop to give way to silence, so that the miraculous beauty of the sanctuary is only preserved perfectly in memory. Shanghai World Financial Center, China. Like a giant magic sword piercing the night, this tower proudly asserts its position with a mysterious trapezoidal hole at its highest peak. With an incredible height of 1,614 feet, the project consumed a massive 65,000 tons of steel, enough to build an entire heavy aircraft carrier. That unique hole is not just an architectural touch, but a vital shield, helping to tear through fierce storm winds to protect the steel structure inside. To stand firm on soft alluvial soil, over 2,000 steel piles were driven 262 feet deep into the bedrock to create an immutable foundation. The sharpness of the beveled edges, glowing in cold white LED lights, has led locals to fondly call this superstructure the world's bottle opener. The journey of conquest ends on the 100th floor, where steps on the transparent glass floor will make your brain tremble before the deep abyss. Jin Mao Tower, China. Like a steel lotus rising from the ground, this pagoda tower is a perfect blend of futuristic technology and mysterious Oriental feng shui philosophy. With a height of 1,381 feet, the project is a hymn to prosperity, as every detail from 88 floors to the octagonal base revolves around the lucky number 8. The secret lies at the heart of the tower, where a giant atrium 499 feet high opens a mesmerizing abyss of light within the architecture. Standing in mid-air and looking into that giant kaleidoscope, you will feel the absolute silence of a timeless masterpiece. Tropical Islands Resort, Germany. Deceiving nature amidst the freezing European winter, a canned tropical zone was born to imprison eternal summer inside a giant metal rib cage. Stretching 1,181 feet long, 689 feet wide, and 351 feet high, this pillarless architectural block embraces a massive volume of up to 194 million cubic feet. Thanks to 215,278 square feet of transparent film covering the dome, ultraviolet rays still penetrate, allowing visitors to leisurely sunbathe right in the middle of a bitter blizzard. Contrasting with the grey industrial metal ceiling is the wild breath surging with life, where 50,000 plant species of a tropical rainforest tightly intertwine. Following the 656-foot-long, sterile, pure white sand beach, you can jump into the perfectly still water to cool off day or night, 365 days a year. Leaving the harsh outside world behind, this artificial Garden of Eden proves that perfect peace is now an absolute guaranteed product through the price of an admission ticket. Skybridge 721, Czech Republic. Stretching across the mid-sky like a sharp steel thread, this pedestrian suspension bridge is exactly 2,365 feet long and hovers 312 feet above the valley floor. To keep the 446-ton weight from being swallowed by the abyss, it is tightly held by 6 giant cables, each carrying a braking pull of up to 397 tons. Through the fragile steel grating under your heels, you will find yourself like an eagle stepping on air, gliding over ancient pine trees and jagged rocks. On mornings with thick fog, both ends of the bridge completely disappear, turning every footstep into a drifting journey through an overwhelmingly white space. The cruelest truth on this hovering trap is the strictly one-way rule with no turning back, forcing you to move forward even if panic strikes. The constant swaying, combined with the deep, empty space below, easily strips away anyone's balance, causing the brain to completely sink into an extreme freefall illusion. Confederation Bridge, Canada. Piercing through the ferocious strait, this great 8-mile-long concrete machine is an ironclad treaty, permanently erasing the millennial isolation of an island. This $1 billion gamble of the century proudly turns 65 cone-shaped pillars into a giant machine, crushing 3-foot-thick ice floes, carrying a smashing force of 3,307 tons. Viewed from above, this grayish silk ribbon deliberately winds into a giant letter S to break the deadly highway hypnosis of the endless white desert. At the main navigation channel, the asphalt surface suddenly curves up to a height of 197 feet, sowing in drivers a heart-stopping illusion as if the road is about to snap in mid-air. Despite possessing ultimate mechanical power, this masterpiece still has to yield to the brutal hurricanes of nature. As soon as the wind howls beyond 43 miles per hour, the barrier system will immediately slam shut, absolutely forbidding humans to step on until Mother Nature calms her wrath. Ostankino Tower, Russia. Blooming in the Russian capital like an upside-down lily, this architectural masterpiece proudly rises 1,772 feet to dominate the European sky. The chillingly absurd thing is that this giant concrete mass, weighing 60,627 tons, balances perfectly on an unimaginably shallow foundation, only 15 feet deep. When the freezing winter drags clouds to swallow the lower body, the observation deck on top suddenly turns into a sci-fi flying saucer, floating menacingly in mid-air. To conquer that height, You must exhaust yourself through 3,544 grueling steps, or let the high-speed elevator shoot you up 984 feet at a wind-tearing speed of 23 feet per second. It is hard to believe that this historic grand sketch was drawn by the chief architect in just one single night. The ultimate reward lies at the seventh heaven, a floating restaurant allowing diners to enjoy dinner while watching the entire skyline slowly rotate every 40 minutes. Karakorum Highway, Pakistan, and China. Amidst the dead land, pitch-black granite cliffs stand vertically like shark teeth, piercing the blue sky, creating a suffocating pressure for anyone passing by. Running along it is a river with a magical milky green color, which is not the color of water, but the remains of mountains ground into fine powder by glaciers. Right in this harsh place, humans carved the highest international route in the world, a living monument to the will to survive against brutal nature. Beauty here often comes with death, like that splendid turquoise lake, which was actually born from a horrific landslide that buried an entire village. Danger is present every day, as the most common traffic sign is not a speed limit, but a warning of falling rocks, always lurking overhead. Few people know that this strip of asphalt lies right on top of ancient camel footprints, where merchants have transported silk and faith for thousands of years. Statue of Unity, India. Tearing through the sky at a height of 787 feet, this bronze giant proudly holds the title of the tallest statue on the planet, far surpassing all rivals in the world. This great structure was erected to honor the Iron Man of history, the father who welded the fragments of the nation into a unified block. Few people know that the soul of the statue lies in the foundation, cast from 135 tons of scrap iron, donated by millions of farmers from old tools. The journey ends at the chest, at a height of 502 feet, where the observation deck opens up a view through the coat to fully see the valley and river below. Vasco da Gama Bridge, Portugal. Like a giant white harp rising between the sea and sky, this bridge is a magnificent combination of cable towers and an endless viaduct system. With a total length of nearly 11 miles, this used to hold the record as the longest bridge in the European Union, where drivers feel like they are gliding across the vast ocean. Instead of running straight, the road is designed to curve gently to break the monotony, helping drivers avoid the dangerous highway hypnosis effect. To stand firm in the muddy riverbed, the giant foundation piles had to be driven down more than 310 feet, equivalent to a 30-story building, to reach the hard rock. Its solidity can challenge even superstorms with wind speeds of up to 155 miles per hour without shaking. More than just a transport structure, this is a survival fortress designed to withstand an earthquake 4.5 times stronger than the historical disaster that once flattened this city. Varso Tower, Poland. In the heart of the ancient capital, a giant crystal needle rises straight into the air, as if wanting to sew up the drifting clouds. With an architectural height of 1,017 feet, it proudly dethrones all rivals to become the tallest roof of the entire European Union. Under the hands of legendary architects, the tower is clothed in a special 4-layer glass armor, helping it self-regulate temperature during the harsh winter. This smart design opens up a perfect 360-degree panoramic observation deck where visitors can capture the whole city in their sight. Its rise right after Britain left carries a hidden message that the center of economic power is gradually shifting to the east. This is not just a luxury office, but a strong statement for the rapid development of a country that is rising powerfully. Tuokutuo Power Station, China. In the middle of the vast wasteland, a forest of giant mushroom-shaped concrete towers rises up to create an overwhelming and magnificent artificial skyline. This used to be the largest coal power plant on the planet, with a capacity of 6,720 megawatts, which is more powerful than the total energy of many small countries combined. In the winter, thick white steam columns roll out from the chimneys and condense into low clouds that completely hide the sky. When night falls, thousands of warning lights glow brightly, making this place look like a science fiction city, reflecting on the surface of the vast wastewater lake. Finally, right next to the dark past of coal, fields of solar energy are starting to grow, painting a picture of the silent struggle between the old and the new. CN Tower is a landmark of Canada, located in Toronto near Lake Ontario, and it is considered one of the world's most remarkable telecommunication and tourism structures. Standing 553 meters tall, the tower once held the record as the tallest structure on Earth for 32 consecutive years after its completion in 1976. Construction lasted 40 months, employing more than 1,500 workers who faced strong winds and unstable ground conditions. More than just an engineering feat, it stands as a national pride, symbolizing how human ingenuity and science can overcome the challenges of nature. Oresund Bridge is the iconic structure crossing the Öresund Strait, linking Sweden and Denmark and serving as the most vital transport route in Northern Europe. The bridge stretches about 5 miles and continues into a tunnel of 2 miles, forming the only large-scale bridge tunnel system of its kind in the world. Completed in 2000, after nearly 5 years of construction, it involved more than 2,000 engineers and workers. The central pylon rises to 670 feet, while the navigation span of 1,600 feet allows massive ships to pass freely. More than 1.3 million cubic yards of concrete and around 88,000 tons of steel were used, assembled with precision by floating cranes and barges. Today, Oresund Bridge is not only an engineering milestone, but also a symbol of how modern science and technology unite nations. Petronas Twin Towers. Located in the capital of Malaysia, the Petronas Twin Towers stand as an iconic landmark of Southeast Asia and once held the record as the tallest twin towers in the world. Rising to 1,480 feet, with 88 floors made of steel and reflective glass, the towers were completed in 1998 after 6 years of continuous construction. Engineers faced major challenges due to the soft ground, requiring nearly 13 million hours of labor and foundations dug about 390 feet deep, among the deepest ever built for skyscrapers. Construction required over 210,000 cubic yards of concrete and nearly 73,000 pounds of reinforcing steel, showing the massive scale of the project. Today, the Petronas Twin Towers remain a testament to engineering vision and creative strength of the 20th century, attracting millions of visitors worldwide. Lakhta Center is the tallest skyscraper in Europe, located on the coast of the Gulf of Finland in St. Petersburg, Russia, where modern architecture meets the vast maritime landscape. With a height of 462 meters and 87 floors, the tower holds several records, including the tallest twisted skyscraper in the world. Construction began in 2012 and was completed in 2019 after 7 years of continuous work involving more than 20,000 workers and engineers from many countries. The project faced severe challenges such as water-saturated soil, freezing climate, and special requirements for materials that could withstand extreme temperature fluctuations. Today, Lakhta Center stands not only as an architectural icon of Russia, but also as a testament to human ability to conquer construction limits under harsh conditions. Danyang-Kunshan Grand Bridge, China. Appearing in the fog, hundreds of thousands of these concrete pillars stand straight like a modern terracotta army marching silently across the fields. They support a 102-mile-long artificial dragon, crushing every record to become the longest bridge on the planet in every category. To avoid being swallowed by the muddy land, engineers drove tens of thousands of foundation piles 262 feet deep, equivalent to a 25-story building, buried upside down. At the 6-mile-long section crossing the lake, over 2,000 bridge pillars rise from the deep bottom, turning the vast water surface into a reinforced concrete forest. This giant machine consumed 496,000 tons of steel, enough to cast 65 Eiffel Towers or dozens of nuclear aircraft carriers. Even more miraculously, humanity took only 4 years to assemble these 992-ton beams, like a great puzzle game of giants. Tokyo Skytree, Japan. Reaching a proud height of 2,080 feet, this tower bears the ancient name Musashi as a reminder of the land's heroic history. Although looking slender, it is cast from 39,683 tons of steel, enough to create 5 stacked Eiffel Towers to replace the old tower that had its signal blocked. To stand firm, its foundation acts like ancient tree roots with spiked steel piles buried 164 feet deep and woven tightly into the ground. The elevators here are Formula One racing machines, taking you from the ground to a height of 1,148 feet in less than 50 seconds. At the observation point, 1,476 feet high, the human eye can exceed flat limits to see the true curvature of the Earth 47 miles away. When night falls, a system of 2,075 LED lights turns the tower into a spiritual torch with three main colors symbolizing spirit, aesthetics, and vibrancy. Putrajaya, Malaysia. Rising like a mirage amidst the tropics, this administrative capital is an architectural symphony where ancient Islamic domes blend with the steel and glass of the future. The heart of the city is an artificial lake covering 1,606 acres, acting as a giant air conditioner to lower the entire area's temperature by about 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Here, German architectural wire mesh technology has created a wall-less sanctuary where natural wind flows through, keeping the space cool without needing any air conditioners. Contrasting with the coldness of steel is another sanctuary built of pink granite with foundations deep underwater, creating the illusion that the entire 1,000-ton structure is floating. Although there is no large natural river, the city possesses 8 unique bridges spanning the lake, turning this place into a proud Venice of the East. All these elements have transformed this land from dry palm oil hills into the most modern and well-planned federal administrative capital of Malaysia. Gotthard Base Tunnel, Switzerland. Piercing the base of the majestic Alps, this great 35-mile-long structure has dethroned all others to become the longest traffic tunnel in human history. This is where humans go deepest into the Earth's crust, enduring the weight of a rock layer 7,546 feet thick, equivalent to 5 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. To create space for trains to run, humanity had to hollow out 31 million tons of rock from the mountain's belly, enough to rebuild 5 Great Pyramids of Giza. Miraculously, after 14 long years of drilling in the darkness, 2 giant drills met in the middle of the mountain with an error margin of a mere 3 inches. In that narrow space, passenger trains glide at a speed of 155 miles per hour, demanding a special aerodynamic design to eliminate sonic booms. South-North Water Transfer Project, China. Born from the ambition to reverse nature, this super project is a massive topographical surgery to force rivers to flow backward thousands of miles to the north. With a length of over 2,672 miles, this canal network stretches twice the distance from the northern border to the southern tip of the United States. Each year, a massive amount of water totaling 1,582 billion cubic feet is transported, equal to the capacity of 18 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. To realize this $80 billion dream, humans created flying rivers, suspended high above through concrete aqueducts stretching across valleys. Controlling that fierce flow are giant steel gates, as tall as a 5-story building, standing like gateways to the future. James Webb Space Telescope International. Dubbed the Golden Eye of the Universe, this time machine uses infrared rays to see through eternal night instead of visible light. Its power is so immense that it can capture light from 13.5 billion years ago, witnessing the first stars turn on after the Big Bang. Unlike its predecessor orbiting Earth, it drifts lonely around the Sun at a distance of nearly 1 million miles to hide in absolute darkness. Because of its giant size equal to a tennis court, engineers were forced to design it like an origami work to fold neatly and self-unfold in space. The mirror system, 21 feet wide, is made of beryllium, coated with pure gold, but the gold layer is so thin that it weighs only 1.7 ounces. Protecting that cold heart is a 5-layer heat shield as thin as human hair, but possessing a sun protection factor, SPF of up to 1 million. Grand Canal, China. Cutting across the continent like an eternal water silk ribbon, This 2,500-year-old wonder is the legendary transport artery connecting the wealthy north and south. With an astonishing length of 1,104 miles, it stretches 10 times longer than the Suez Canal, becoming the longest man-made cut humans ever created on Earth. To write this epic, 6 million people had to shed sweat and blood under harsh supervision to clear the flow across centuries. The canal embraces ancient cities in its heart, where millions of houses reflect on the lake with windows that open to touch the mossy waves. When night falls, tens of thousands of bright red lanterns reflect on the river of light, creating a haunting and breathtakingly magnificent beauty. Overcoming the dust of time, this World Heritage is still pulsing vividly, proudly holding its position as the oldest operating canal system on the planet. Shanghai Maglev, China. Rejecting the concept of wheels and axles entirely, this is the only operating commercial high-speed magnetic levitation line on the planet. A powerful electromagnetic system lifts the entire fuselage, hovering exactly 0.4 inches above the concrete guideway, just the thickness of a phone. The train itself has no engine, as the track is the giant machine generating magnetic fields to pull it surfing like a magnetic skateboard. With a top speed of 268 miles per hour, it accelerates from 0 to 186 miles per hour in just 2 minutes and 15 seconds, far outstripping any Formula One race car. When cornering, the concrete guideway tilts sharply, compressing passengers into their seats, just like being on a banking airplane. Despite possessing complex German technology, China took only 2.5 years to complete this project, a record that stunned Western engineers. Sheikh Jabir Al Ahmed Causeway, Kuwait. Shooting out like a giant steel dragon across the vast ocean, this mega project proudly connects a bustling capital with a silent desert. Its length of 31 miles is so massive that engineers had to include the curvature of the Earth in their drawings. Otherwise, the two ends would never touch. In the middle of the empty ocean, giant machines weighing 1,984 tons launched 197-foot beam spans to connect to two 74-acre artificial islands looking like sci-fi bases. Accepting to throw in hundreds of millions of dollars more just to curve and avoid coral reefs, this silk strip was molded from 374,786 tons of steel, enough to cast 45 Eiffel Towers. That overwhelming absurdity stems from unparalleled pride as this billion-dollar concrete strip patiently stretches across the sea just to wait for a mega-city that does not yet exist. Boguchani Dam, Russia. Overcoming the rusty oblivion spanning 2 centuries, a giant hybrid of concrete and earth proudly rose to suffocate the fiercest river in Siberia. This artificial mountain, stretching 2 miles, hides a power of 3,000 megawatts, easily lighting up a megacity of tens of millions of people day and night. To feed that mechanical complex, a 233-mile lake was born, ruthlessly swallowing 888 square miles of land, along with countless lives. Standing tall after more than 30 tragic years of construction, the structure is an epic of human will, but also a cruel death sentence for wild nature. Sydney Opera House, Australia. Glistening on the water, this giant art complex deceives the eye with the illusion of a wind-filled fleet or massive shell ruins. All 14 of those sharp, vaulted pieces are a mathematical miracle, extracted from an imaginary sphere with a radius of 246 feet to shatter technical deadlocks. Supporting that soaring roof system is a rough pink granite stepped base, simulating the blood-soaked sacrificial altars of the ancient Maya. If the outside is cold scales, the birch wood-paneled auditorium will imprison you in a breathtaking feeling, just like stepping into a whale's ribcage. Hidden deep inside is the grand pipe organ, with over 10,000 giant pipes, consuming 10 full years for artisans to manually tune the sound. Becoming the concrete coat of arms of an entire continent, now just 3 soaring curves pointing to the sky are enough for any brain to recognize. Kariba Dam, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. In the middle of the arid continent, a giant concrete arch has suffocated the greatest river in southern Africa to give birth to an artificial ocean stretching 137 miles. The 198 billion-ton weight of this water body is so brutal that it crushed the Earth's crust, directly triggering artificial earthquakes that shook the region. Contrary to that deadly look, the still water surface is a paradise of luxurious houseboats, where tourists enjoy living suspended for many consecutive days. Finally, walk on the 1,969-foot dam crest to feel the asphalt vibrating violently under your feet, bringing extreme fear mixed with excitement. AVE High-Speed Rail Network, Spain. Inspired by the wings of a free bird, these trains established a record with a test speed of up to 251 miles per hour, surpassing the limits of Formula One racing cars. Not only fast, this system also covers the map with a total length of nearly 2,500 miles, putting this country in the #1 position in Europe for infrastructure scale. The trip is like a surreal movie gliding through the empty land, where the cracked red earth stretches to the horizon without a single human figure. The strongest feeling comes from the light effect, like flashing disco lights, as the train continuously rushes into and out of a series of mountain tunnels. It is hard to believe that thanks to the open competition policy, you can enjoy this 370-mile journey at a surprisingly cheap price, only about $8 to $10. But the most impressive thing remains the 100% refund commitment if the train arrives late, a proud declaration of the absolute precision of the railway industry here. Kiel Canal, Germany. A strange visual illusion appears in the countryside as giant container ships seem to slide smoothly on the green grass. In fact, this water flow was born from the emperor's ambition to help the naval fleet move secretly rather than to serve economic purposes. Because of the narrow channel and soft earth banks, superships are forced to slow down to walking speed, gliding right in front of the viewers. Thanks to this shortcut, ships no longer have to face the stormy seas in the north, shortening the journey by nearly 290 miles. That convenience has turned it into the busiest waterway on the planet, with a density of ship traffic thicker than anywhere else. To make way for these giants, all bridges crossing here must hang suspended in the sky at a height of 138 feet. Suez Canal expansion is the enlargement of the Suez Canal, the artificial waterway linking the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea, reducing shipping distance between Europe and Asia. Launched in 2014 and completed by 2015 in just 1 year, the project covered about 45 miles, making it one of the fastest infrastructure achievements in the world. Its major highlight was the creation of a parallel channel that allows two-way traffic, increasing daily ship capacity from 49 to over 90. Today, it stands as a vital artery of international commerce, symbolizing both engineering achievement and the ambition of global integration. Large Hadron Collider, CERN, is the largest particle accelerator in the world, buried underground along the border between Switzerland and France, designed to unlock the secrets of the universe. With a circumference of more than 17 miles and a tunnel depth of around 330 feet, it allows protons to collide at speeds close to that of light. Large Hadron Collider now stands as a symbol of human intellect and the ambition to push the frontiers of modern physics. Kansai International Airport is one of Japan's most impressive infrastructure projects, built on an artificial island in the bay, several kilometers off the mainland. Officially completed and opened in 1994, after nearly 7 years of construction, it became the world's first international airport built entirely on the sea. Kansai features a runway about 2 miles long, capable of handling the largest aircraft in service, and a terminal designed by architect Renzo Piano, stretching about 1 mile, which was the longest terminal in the world at the time of its opening. Today, Kansai stands not only as a vital air gateway for the region, but also as proof of humanity's ability to conquer the sea through knowledge and technology. Lotte World Tower. Rising in the heart of Seoul, Lotte World Tower stands as the tallest building in South Korea and one of the top 5 tallest skyscrapers in the world at the time of its completion in 2016. Reaching a height of 1820 feet with 123 floors, the tower required 6 years of construction, more than 13,000 workers and engineers, and millions of tons of steel and concrete to ensure structural stability against earthquakes and typhoons. Its glass facade was scientifically designed to reduce wind pressure, improve energy efficiency, and create a sleek, modern appearance. The building is both a symbol of modern engineering and a reflection of South Korea's ambition to reach the global stage. Incheon International Airport is the largest air gateway of South Korea, located on an island off the west coast of Seoul and recognized as a strategic aviation hub in East Asia. Officially opened in 2001, after nearly 8 years of construction, involving tens of thousands of engineers and workers, it stands among the largest airports in the world, with an area of about 21 square miles. More than a transportation hub, Incheon International Airport stands as a symbol of South Korea's modernization and strategic vision.